And then, so now we have Matthew Chadwick coming up from G2 Ops, and he's going to talk about their use of the integrated management utility and refreshable web query tools.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you, Kent. Appreciate the opportunity. Good morning to all. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'd like to take this moment to thank Ellen Craig, Patty Cantor, Ken Taylor, and the Unanet team as a whole for the opportunity to speak today. We're going to look at a few of the tools that my organization is using to push the envelope of Unanet's capability and functionality, which in turn is helping to simplify and enhance our business processes. Oh, here we go. As Kent mentioned, I'm Director of Operations for G2 Ops Global, and I represent G2 Ops, which is a separate organization, both of which are woman-owned small businesses headquartered in Virginia Beach, Virginia. G2 Ops was established back in 2005, and we operated in the IT services and ship repair space until about 2013, when our company underwent reorganization, a leadership change, and we moved our headquarters to Virginia Beach. We also moved into the cybersecurity and model-based systems engineering domains, and it was at this point that G2 Ops Global was created in 2013 to then serve our commercial clients, as well as become the management firm for G2 Ops. Our organizations collectively specialize in the application of advanced model-based systems engineering methodologies and tools to address cybersecurity, IT service management, software engineering, and systems engineering challenges for numerous federal government and commercial clients in the defense, financial services, healthcare, and higher education markets. I say all of this to drive my next point. In 2012, G2 Ops began using Unanet for timekeeping and expense reporting, but otherwise really employed only QuickBooks as our accounting and financial management software. And then we utilized a series of Microsoft Office tools, principally Excel, Microsoft Project, and a few others to manage our contracts and projects until about 2016. It was then that we were awarded our first prime contract for the government, upon which we quickly realized the need for a single, more robust ERP solution for our financial and project management. It was in July of 2016 that we completely shifted away from these more antiquated tools to the Unanet Financials and Project Portfolio platform. And in doing so, this enabled us to really centralize our financial and project data, as well as improve our contract and project budgeting processes and our data accuracy with regard to becoming more effective at being able to accurately forecast and budget our project spending. Since employing the Unanet Financials and Project Portfolio ERP, we have spent a lot of time exploring the advanced functionalities that are provided by Unanet, and specifically as they pertain to the Integration Management Utility, the IMU, and the Refreshable Web Queries, the RWQ. The importance of using these tools may be summarized through our ability to streamline business processes, in particular as they are related to quality assurance and quality control, which simplifies our overall quality processes through automated implementation to identify data anomalies and discrepancies. It helps us to standardize our data management processes. In particular, it gives us the ability to remain compliant and to track our compliance with contract requirements. And then overall, it reduces man hours and thus our overhead burden to review and validate the data that has been entered. It also has helped us with the overall management of data as related to our project managers, our accounts and contracts offices, and then within the general operations team, which then contributed to the ability and enhanced capability for decision making in providing our key decision makers with accurate data via these targeted data analyses and dashboards. So overall, the reduction to overhead burdens, the improved business process workflows, and simplified quality control were a primary result for us pursuing these advanced functionalities. And these tools have served to help us increase the overall performance of our data, as Kent mentioned early on. Starting off with our QC IMU, the purpose of us pursuing this option was that we sought a quality control tool within UNINET to monitor data quality as part of our data management standardization process. Requirements called for a simplified, automated process to identify data anomalies and discrepancies while simplifying the quality control process as a whole. This related in particular to data review and validation. Furthermore, we sought a tool that could be automated on a recurring basis. Discussions with Kent and his team resulted in the employment of this quality control IMU, which then facilitated the rapid identification of data anomalies and discrepancies as related to hours and rates within project resource plans and assignments, personnel cost rates, project labor categories, and assigned dates for our resources. And one of the most important was the assignment of cost elements, particularly as it involved our subcontractors that may be participating on our prime contracts. And the process for generating these reports really involved exporting UNINET data and then re-importing it to compare actuals against pre-established criteria and data standards. The report then identifies these data discrepancies and generates a weekly report that hits in operations email. I'm sure there's a much more complex explanation that Kent can explain for you, but from an operational standpoint, this really enables us to be more efficient at isolating problem data so that we can solely focus on correcting these issues as we engage in our contract and project management review meetings, and as we prepare for our routine processes related to invoicing and payroll. Shown here a few examples of an output file that is included in the weekly email for our operations team. This first view is of the bill override report, and it tells us that errors exist in the contract billing type for the project resource assignment that is provided. Then we have the second view, which is a look at the assignment budget hours report. And in this particular case, we have no records that are significantly being pulled out, even though there's the one line 2 issue, which simply states that a location was not provided for a particular resource assignment. So again, we can review numerous types of data for resource assignments and projects in general, and then we can plan on a weekly basis, typically on Wednesdays, to correct these issues before it has significant negative impact to our project and accounting teams. A second IMU that we utilize is our MS Project to UNINET IMU. This tool really, the sole purpose of it was we have numerous project and program managers who have years and years of experience using MS Project to develop their projects within their contracts. And so in some cases, they have really complex work breakdown structures, tasks and subtasks of other tasks. And we needed a way to efficiently import these projects that are built in MS Project into UNINET. And so the purpose of developing this tool was simply to quickly migrate data from one system into UNINET so that we could overcome what in many cases were inaccurate cost estimates and ultimately incorrect resource forecasts. And then we had the PMs who were also duplicating the effort in building these projects in UNINET, which was just a waste of man hours. So we developed this tool with Kent and his team again, which has enabled us to very quickly import data from the MS Project system to UNINET. It has been particularly useful in our bid and proposal projects so that we can provide really a more accurate cost analysis and really leverage the robust reporting structure that UNINET has provided with regard to the cost element. And then it helps us with building out these complex work breakdown structures. And the tool itself enables us to migrate a variety of information, particularly related to project tasks and then planned work for our resources, our people, in regard to their labor categories, and then we can pull in the people cost rates that are already provided within Unanet. For more information on this, we can talk with Kent at his other session where he'll be able to explain some of these tools. And if you have specific questions, you can talk to us offline about that. We're going to move towards the refreshable web queries at this point, and particularly as they relate to the monthly status reporting. So this was a big issue for us at G2Ops. When we only had one contract to worry about, it was able to, we could quickly get in, analyze financial data, and then load it into these templates provided to us from the government. And but as we shifted and we acquired more contracts, particularly we have 5 contracts, 2 sub-Ks, and providing that same data on a monthly basis really translated to about 6 man-hours plus in compiling this data. And this was being done by either myself or others on our operations team when we should be addressing other important issues or working with our project managers and their daily needs that they have. And so across 167 different projects and acronyms, we needed a quick way to pull data in for each of the contracts, each of the option years, and then replicate these templated reports so that we could simply copy and paste it into the documents provided to us from the government. So a output of this process has really been the ability to reduce overhead burden in that we are now only spending about an hour or less using this new tool, which really is a centrifuge of data where it pulls multiple reports from our cost reports, the PMJSR, Project Manager JSR, to our billing and revenue report. We're able to pull all of this data together and generate these templates for all 7 of our contracts, which has resulted in this 67% reduction in overall man hours. From both the project manager standpoint, in that he can simply copy and paste the data that we provide into his narrative file or her narrative file and her financial report. It's also resulted in about a 12% reduction in the data entry errors that we've seen and our calculations. One of the issues we'd run into is we have one particular contract where we have multiple subcontractors contributing hours. And so we were not able to efficiently pull that subcontract data into our calculation, but we now have a mechanism to do so where we don't have to go out and calculate outside of the tool. So this has been really significant for us in that it frees up a lot of time, and we actually were complimented through our annual reviews in that our analytical data and our accounting data has been without any flaws, was part of the quote that was received through our latest CPAR. So that was an honor that we received. We have to give all that credit then to Kent as well in helping us to get these processes up and running. So this is what our project managers are looking like now. The output for the refreshable web query MSR looks similar to this. So the tool begins with this particular page, and what we end up doing is going in to update the 2 different reports, and we load in the parameters for the particular time period or the month that we're working with. And then we go in and open up the table. The 2 reports that we primarily utilize are an ad hoc customized MSR cost summary report, and then we pull in our labor cost report as well. This enables us to again, pull all of our data, and we are able to sort this based on our contract, based on the option year, and ultimately produce the same type of format that we are copying data into for the final MSR financial. So this would be the equivalent of the tab 2 of the financial data report. And overall, this again has helped us to validate the information that we're seeing in our cost reports, our JSRs, so that we can ensure data is being correctly disseminated to the appropriate contract offices. And this is a copy of our narrative file that we see here, where we're able to then distribute the cost based on our labor categories, including our fee, and ultimately the tab 2B data report, which is part of that template that we received from the federal government. Finally, we've got a contracts dashboard that we've developed with the help of Kent and Michael Ribnick. And this contracts dashboard really has the purpose of providing us with a high-level summary of our individual and our collective contracts. In particular, this has uses for HR, also for our project managers, and for our executive team. It provides us the ability to make rapid decisions, especially as related to the outsourcing of recruitment, and it gives us the ability to identify points in time where we need to rapidly increase our labor pool. Also, it enables us to have actionable information available to the executive team, which then frees them up from reading tons of data. The data overload potential is always there in reporting, and we wanted to simplify this process. Additionally, this tool gives us the ability to roll up our cost plus contracts into a single screen. We can then roll up our T&M contracts in a separate screen and identify where our priorities need to be in a particular point in time. So we're utilizing our TBD data, the to be determined data, and then looking at our actuals compared to our plans and assignments, and has helped again to positively impact our labor force forecasting. An example of this is shown here. So this is one of our test reports. You can see that for a particular period in time, if this is the full pop, the blue representing what our actuals are, the red representing our personnel that are in place, with the gray representing the TBD assignments that we have. So this gives us a real holistic view of where we stand in a particular, with a particular contract and period of performance, to see how we either need to crunch or crash the project, shift resources, or go on a rapid hiring spree, which has been something we've been working on here of late. The business impacts really have helped us to enhance our visibility and communication, while it also can be distributed across this business units, both within our back office management group and within our production team. So from a contracts management standpoint, this has increased our funding visualization, particularly looking at our allocation versus our burn, helps us to identify the billing trends. For our CXOs, it gives us that, again, actionable information for faster decision-making and reduces that data fatigue. For HR, it provides labor force insight and forecasting as related to contract personnel, and then has helped us in particular with G2 Ops in our decision to outsource our recruiting efforts. And as a result of that, we've gone from approximately 49 employees as of October 2017 to now 65 at this point in time. And then for our program managers, it provides situational awareness, in particular looking at project timelines versus resource scheduling, and gives them a true view of where our FTE utilization is. So if you would like to learn more about customizing RWQs, feel free to speak with Michael or Kent, or I'll be available after this presentation as well. Does anybody have any additional questions? Thank you for your time, and wish you the best success as you move into the world of IMUs and RWQs.